Eternal God, you have brought us here tonight to celebrate your goodness to us and the fact that you have given us a community in which to live and share our concerns. We come to honor two people whose presence with us has made our community better, and we recognize the work that they have done in the community, those things that mean so much to most of us, and yet there's a time when we do appreciate that, and we come this night for that appreciation. We ask that you would bless our ceremonies tonight, our meal, and those who are here. Amen.
We're going to serve the salad now, and then we'll bring this thing to attention forthwith.
Funny word. I know why. You only have the basic. You're spending about $180, $190 a year on cable. You can understand it's a lesser payment at all. Not one of those others that fell down. I don't know if it's tight. At least one guy didn't fall down. This guy's really tight. He's going to get a hold of somebody. You're really going to get scratched or punched. Anything in particular?
And my cultural society got all their concert sponsors.
And then the shock at the fans and said thank you. Yeah, I guess it's like you're lost to
Right of his luck.
the school's almost out.
Yeah, but it's still May though. That's a tough month.
That's easy for a school teacher to say.
are playing or will soon be playing, and LA Law comes on with a new at 10 o'clock tonight. It will be my function to keep this program moving laconically, succinctly, and briefly. And those people who are participants herein take notice. I was instructed to introduce some important guests. And as I looked around the room earlier and henceforth realized that everyone here is an important guest. But then going back to what I just said in the previous paragraph, we can't introduce everybody here. I really wanted to introduce the members of a rather select group. Some of you may know about this group. Those of you who don't are missing something. At weekdays at 9 o'clock down at George's Golden Boy Restaurant, there's a group that's pretty hard to get into. One, you have to be old enough, and two, you have to afford to pay for about a dozen cups of coffee. And I wanted to introduce those members of that coffee clutch group that are here tonight. But Hank Goudy told me that since Tony Draper, the president of that group, isn't here, we'll introduce none of them. And so we'll go to another group. And we will introduce some people in that group. And that group includes people involved in politics. And here representing the city of Wayne is Mayor Ken Warfield. Now wait a minute, before any, succinctly, I know you want to loudly applause to each one of these 19 people I'm going to introduce, but just wait till we get to number 19, and then we'll give you, everyone, a great Ken Warfield, Mayor of the City of Wayne. Stand up, please. And then Mayor Robert Thomas, Mayor of the City of Westland. And then my former colleague and present Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Wayne, Ed Phillips. No, stand up. Bob, stand up. Ken, stand up. I forgot to say, and keep standing up. Most of you can do that. Councilperson Donna McEachran, City of Wayne. And representing Congressman Ford, which is really a tough job these days. Congratulations, David Gray. And Glenn Anderson from the Westland City Council, and Sylvia Wysack from the Wayne Westland Board of Education. And from the judicial system, District Court Judge Gail McKnight, who is right over here. And State Representative Justine Barnes, right over there. And from the Wayne Westland School Board, Andy Spizak, who is someplace. Yes, he is someplace. And I'm sure I missed somebody, but now let's give them a round of applause. As indicated previously, this is our 16th recognition dinner, and I'd like to introduce those people who are with us tonight who have been recognized for outstanding service in the community previously. So if you can hear this, Norm Stockmeyer, 1973, stand up please and remain standing, Norm. And coming right down the line, we have Kitty McKinney in 1977. I think Kitty's right there. Hi, Kitty. And Nate Weiser, same year, 1979. In 1980, we honored Robert Millar. Robert Millar is right down there, and Norma Weiser. And let's see, it was in 1989 that Justine Barnes was recognized at and Harry Francis the same year. And Harry's here also. Where are you, Harry Francis? Way back there. Very good. Sharon Arthur in 1990. and Gail McKnight and Tony Rossetti last year. Now, what? Oh, did I miss John Ryan? There he is right back there. And Murray Millar. Yeah. Did I miss anybody else, Gail? Just John Ryan and Murray Millar. And Dale Weston. And anybody else I missed, please stand up. That's it. All right. Well, I apologize for that. Now we have one of the big functions of the YMCA is our Invest in Youth program. And right after Sharon Arthur talks to us about our annual report, we're going to hear a little bit more about Invest in Youth. But right now, we'd like to introduce our present chairman of the YMCA board, Sharon Arthur.
I'm afraid I'm going to introduce some people too. Maybe we should have had everybody stand.
Why not?
So, first of all, I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. We look forward to this event every year because we are able to honor and recognize people in this community who care. Before we get to the best part of the program, I would like to first introduce some people and then briefly tell you about some of the new things that are happening at our branch. First of all, I'd like to, I'll ask these people to stand and tell you who they are, and then we'll do the same as Dale did, and we'll plaque for them. Ken Isherwood, who is a Senior Vice President with Metro YMCA. Wa Stacy, who was a former director of this branch, who is now Director of South Oakland, and also a District Director. Shirley Ritter, who is Director of Livonia YMCA and also a District Director and also oversees this branch. Then I want to ask Dale Weston to please stand. Dale serves on the Metro Board of the YMCA, and he also really represents the Wayne Westland branch, and he's just been a wonderful help to all of us these past few months, and we really appreciate him. And then I'd like to call on our board members who are present here tonight: Wayne Bennett, Dale Butler, Linda Draper, Jim Edwards, Bob Millar, Gail McKnight, Carol Oliphant, Roberta Paquette, Jaldar Prasad, Norm Stackmeyer, Ken Warfield, and John Zed. And that's it. I did forget something. Our wonderful staff. Jim McNellis, who's a physical director, Mary Rose Cartwright, who's the program director, and Pauline King, the office manager. Please give them All right, and the first thing I want to do, you probably wonder why I haven't introduced the new director, because I want to do it right now. Rich Perlowski, would you please stand? We're very proud to introduce Rich Perlowski to the community. He comes to us from Clinton, Illinois. He was a director there at that branch. It's located in central Illinois. He's probably been with the YMCA maybe 17 years, is that right?
16.
16. He has a lovely wife and 2 small children who aren't here yet, but they will be soon. And we're just real pleased to have him. I think he likes us too, don't you, Rich?
Yes.
This dais is not big enough. I wanted one that covered me. Right. The next thing I just want to tell everybody that we've been working real hard since January, and we have 13 new board members to add to this list. We have a total now of 31. And we've just really been working since January trying to get new people to develop a stronger board so that we can develop deeper relationships with our community and better serve the people in this community. And then another new thing that's happening, and we are all really excited about this, we are going to have a newsletter. It will probably come out in the next couple weeks. It's going to be called The Why and the Wherefore. And it's our way of keeping in touch with our members, our friends, our YMCA contributors to Invest in Youth. And we're just really excited about it. If you don't get one in the mail, you can pick one up at the branch. It'll come out 4 times a year. And it's an easy way for us to thank so many wonderful volunteers that we have at this branch. I just can't talk about them enough. They go unsung, nobody hears about them, and we will be sure to thank them in our new newsletter. I'm trying to, have I got any more time?
You got 3 more minutes.
3 more? All right, and the next thing I want to mention is our golf outing, which is going to be on the 30th of July at Fellows Creek. Tea time at 11 o'clock. It's on Thursday. You can, if you don't play golf like I do, I'm going to be there all day and have dinner. We're going to have steak dinner in the evening. So there are a few people in this audience that are going to be out there selling tickets. So say yes when you see them coming. This year that we're going to dedicate this golf outing to a former board member, Michael Zonk. He was a wonderful man, passed away in September. He served on this board for many, many years, and he did a lot of wonderful things that he didn't want anybody to know about. And we just feel it's fitting that we name and dedicate this golf outing to him. Also, along with that, the board has approved renaming the daycare center on our property. It's a yellow house, sits there right on Wayne Road. We're now going to call that, or have been calling it, Mike's House. And it's dedicated to Mike. All the memorial money that was raised when he passed away is being used to buy brand new storm windows inside and out. We're remodeling it so we can increase the children that we can accept for the daycare center. We're going to paint it, and then hopefully in the fall our intentions are to have a proper dedication, a sign made so that we can properly identify the house as Mike's house, and then honor Mike properly in that way with his family and wide friends. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Sharon. Good report. As I indicated a couple minutes ago, the Invest in Youth program is a giant activity of any YMCA. We had co-chairman this year and the most successful campaign in Invest in Youth, and I'd like to have our co-chairman, Carol Oliphant and Linda Draper, come up to tell you about and make a presentation relative thereto. Linda?
We'll start off with the Chairman's Club, and that's the Wayne Rotary Foundation, and Dale Weston's going to accept that plaque. The President's Circle, Doris Coling and Mary Rose Cartwright will accept for her. That's her mother, and her mother couldn't attend. Richard and Gail McKnight. And Norm Stockmeyer. Now there are some on there that aren't here. Marilyn Archibald, Greg Cowling, and Haversticks Tolan. And our youth sponsors, Fred and Sharon Arthur.
Oh, come on, I would walk all the way.
You're wasting time. Dale's going to be upset. Jim Edwards.
Thanks, Jim.
Harry Francis. Bill and Carol Oliphant. Jaldar Prasad. Wa Stacy. In professional insurance, and Dale Weston's going to accept for them also. That was listed under Jerry Steinhauer. That was a typographical error.
I think you know what. We'll find it.
In the Wayne Lions Club, John Ryan.
What did I do? Did I give you the wrong one?
Hurry up, Linda, we don't have it.
Okay. Wait, give it back. Am I supposed to read these? Okay.
I can't do everything. Oh, no.
Yes, we do. Professional insurance?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. John, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all right. There's another typographical error. It says Toit Tool and Die, that is Tate Tool and Die. We have several who gave that are not here to accept. I'm not going to read them all. We appreciate it, but since Dale's pushing on us, we'll do it. This is a group effort, and usually we do not single out one individual. But when there's someone who's exceptional, we feel like we have to do that. We have one volunteer who had the most new donors, probably upwards of 15. This volunteer also brought in probably $1,100 or better. So we'd like to salute Fred Arthur. Little did you know.
You can do this to me, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yes, you are, and you're going to do it better next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do you feel better now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Linda and I would also like to take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to all of the staff at the Y. Their help and their support means a lot to us. And also to all of our dedicated volunteers, because without them, we could not have done it. We had a real successful year, and we're ready to start over and make next year just as successful or even better. Thank you. What's going on my face?
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Linda. And thank you for all your contributions. This is the second year that YMCA has chosen to give a Teacher of the Year award. And to present that award, Jim Edwards.
Thank you very much. There are a few people like myself in curriculum departments are afraid to talk to. The gentleman I'm going to introduce tonight is one of them. There are truly very few naturals out there. And this individual, I call him a natural. If you ever had an opportunity to observe him teaching, see the kinds of things he does with kids, you would come away saying the same thing. Today I sat down and jotted a list of about 40 major accomplishments that this individual has done over the past 15 years that I've known. I know, I'm short. But what I had to do was just to give you a flavor on some of the kinds of things that he does. Number one, he's in the science department. Also has an interest in technology and computers. He has some major concerns. One of his concerns last year, for example, was that we're not doing enough with young ladies in the area of science and technology. We know that the girls aren't taking math courses, they're not taking science courses. He applies for a fellowship, is accepted along with some other key educators throughout the United States, and spends his summer on his own time at MIT writing up curriculum for young ladies in the area of technology and science. About 14 years ago, when I first got to know Dave, we had a 55-acre woodlot that we now call the Nature Center. The individual that we had open that was the same individual. Only Dave wasn't satisfied staying right there and running the Nature Center and having us bring busloads of kids over to the Nature Center and having him put on programs. His concept was, no, no, no. What I want to do is, I want to have a class of high school students. We granted that. He then began meeting his high school students at the Nature Center. They cleaned that up. He then went on to begin developing some classrooms over there so that he had some activities to do with the kids. Then met with some of his friends from the United Conservation Club, began designing units that he could take out to the school site. First thing we know, he has his students going out to every school in the district, meeting with kids, taking them on the playground, doing environmental studies, bringing other kids in busloads to the Nature Center and doing some unbelievable things. He's also currently president of the Metropolitan Science Teachers Association. He is Wayne Westland School's District Science Department chairperson. He recently won, in fact attended it yesterday, the Michigan Science and Technology Quest program. He's one of their recipients when the Rouge River program became a big issue several years ago, and all of us have heard about that. One of the individuals that was responsible for implementing that program and one of the key players in networking that thing, not only with the U of M, but around the country, was this same individual. I can go on, truly, talking about the kinds of things he has done with his students. I think what reflects it best is something that happened to me about 8 years ago. I happened to notice two students leaving Mr. Bydlowski's class at the Nature Center. One of the students I knew, in fact, only one of them. And I knew that student as a Wayne High student. The student had about a 3.5 average, was in a number of activities, just an exceedingly bright young man, very, very motivated. And I noticed this other young man, and he did not speak very well, but he was giving orders to this brighter student, that I want you to do this, and then we're going to meet over here, and we're going to do these kinds of things. And I happened to ask this other young man that I didn't know what was going on. And he said, I'm really concerned about some of the air pollution that we have. And the Nature Center, being a natural area, is a perfect place for us to do a long-term study to find out exactly what the impact has on this kind of a woods. This young man, then, as I was leaving, I had said to him, you know, good luck in writing your paper, because I knew the two of them were going to meet at the Dearborn Library. And he says, yeah, he says, we really got to do this thing. And I said, well, like I said, good luck. I hope you get an A on your paper. And he says, no, no, no. He says, we're not doing this for a paper. He said, I just got to do it. And the point being, to motivate someone that has probably truly never been motivated in their life, that will look at you and say, I just got to do it, takes an awful lot. As I said initially, this man's a natural. With that, my pleasure, Mr. David Bydlowski.
Well, I'm a hockey fan, so it's really kind of embarrassing to hear things. You know, you don't really think it's any big deal, but I'd like to thank everybody, and particularly, you know, I think in the Y, one of the philosophies is to give something back to the community, and I think that's what kind of education is all about. That it's more than a job; it's giving something back. And when you go into work, it's not the job. It's, you know, you feel a commitment to society, and I don't know of many other jobs that I could do that I would feel like it's really a worthwhile contribution to society. So thank you very much. I appreciate it, and thank you to Jim for the nice words.
Thank you, Jim, and congratulations to you. The special part of the program is the presentation of Special Service Awards. And we have two to present tonight. To present the first, let me introduce last year's recipient, Tony Rosati.
Thank you. I'm a hockey fan too, so I'll try and do this quick. I'm here this evening to introduce you to Wayne Westland YMCA's Woman of the Year, Mrs. Jo Johnson. This is an honor that is well deserved. Jo is married to Ernie, and she is a 32-year resident of the area and a very active resident for all these years. She was active in the Girl Scouts both as a leader and a troop organizer for McKee and Concord schools. Jo was a very active mother at the McKee schools where Donna, Janice, Vicki, who are here this evening, and Laura, who's in California, attended. She is also involved in such activities at the McKee School as the bucket brigade worker. I can just see her doing that.
Not
And
a
she-
grub bucket.
And she worked her way up to the president of the school PTA. She's a past member of the Spring Festival. That's when it was held in J.C. Park, I believe. Jo also was involved in the Westland Youth Athletic Association, and she was named one of the first women directors of that organization. Jo is a past member and now again a current member of the Westland Historical Commission. She founded the Westland Cultural Society and has served as its president. Jo is a member of the Harris Care Post 3323 VFW Women's Auxiliary. I first met her when we were both appointed to the Westland Cable Commission since its inception. I am proud to call her a friend. Jo is the type of person who is always there to give a helping hand. In fact, after a busy night this evening, she and Kitty McKinney, your 1977 award recipient, will be delivering May Day baskets tomorrow morning. About 6 o'clock, 40 people are going to get these. So if you hear some noise about 6 in the morning, it's them. They're just roaming around the countryside here. Jo also makes May wine. I just found this out sitting at the table, and I'm sure she'd be happy to share this recipe if it's legal. Mayor can check this out with the police department. They'll find out if this is all well and good. Jo is a supporter of a program that is very dear to me, the Young Woman of the Year program. In fact, she has gone to the state program with us for quite a few years. In closing, I would like to quote another well-respected lady, the Honorable Gail McKnight. These are her words about Jo. Many volunteers, great ones, come and go, but few are of such quality and have given for over 30 years. The government may set the laws, but it is the volunteers by their giving who set the tone and give the heart to our communities. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jo Johnson.
I think Tony likes the kiss. Well, it's an honor to receive recognition from an organization like the YMCA. Living in the community for 30 years and raising 5 children, it only seems natural to get involved in civic and school activities. It really seems funny receiving an award for work I volunteered for, work I've enjoyed, and work.
Just move it just a little closer to you.
Okay, do you want me to repeat it? Did everybody hear me? As I was saying, it seems funny to receive an award for work I volunteered for, work I've enjoyed, and work that has given me many pleasant memories. And becoming active in the community, I've met many interesting people and have made friends. My philosophy has always been that you make the world a better place to live in, and I hope my volunteer work has accomplished this in a small way. I'd like to thank the YMCA, all my friends who have supported and encouraged me, my husband, who in his own right is a volunteer. He's given 18 years to the youth of Westland with the WYAA and Little Caesars amateur baseball program, and he's serving currently on the Parks and Rec Advisory Council. And I'd like to thank my children who have encouraged and supported me and allowed me the time to do the things I wanted to do. So thank you. And the recipe for May wine is very simple. You've got to grow woodruff in your yard, and you take Rhine wine and you just drop sprigs of woodruff in it, and the only one I make it for is Kitty McKinney and myself.
And congratulations, Jo. To present our second award is Bob Millar.
First of all, I'd like to say that Hank is not interested in hockey. So, you know, it's interesting that a preacher should have an opportunity to introduce someone. But as I have sat here this evening and listened, there's a story runs through my mind which I think really tells what this is all about. It's a story of a Jewish man. A Jewish man who every time he dropped his bread, it always fell butter side down. Now this confused him and irritated him. So he went to the rabbi one day and said, "Rabbi, why is it every time I drop my bread, it falls butter side down?" Rabbi said, "You know, I don't really know for sure." But he said, "I think you're buttering the bread on the wrong side." Now you see, we're talking about people who are buttering their bread on the right side. People who are volunteering, people who are becoming a part of our community. That is so important. Where would we be without volunteers? Where would we be without firemen? It's interesting that as I looked into Hank's past, I find that he became a volunteer fireman when he was in high school. Well, what a sneaky way to get out of class. And when the siren or bell or whatever it was sounded, Hank ran out of class. Then in 1929, Wayne hired 2 firemen. That was their first, I guess, real fire department, and Hank was one of them. He was the night man. Now, as I talked to some of the fellows who have worked with him, it was interesting to hear one of them tell me, "You know, Hank and I used to watch television a lot because we didn't have too much to do at night. This one night they were watching a cowboy movie. And I won't mention the other fireman's name because he's here. And they're watching the hero on a horse chasing the thief on another horse near the edge of a cliff. And this guy who gave me this information said to Hank, he said, "I'll bet you $50 he goes off that cliff." And Hank says, "I'll bet you $50 he doesn't." Well, he did. And you know who paid. But Henry, being the honest man that he is, said, "You know, I have to tell you the truth." He said, "I've seen this movie before." The other guy said, so did I, but I didn't think he was dumb enough to go over the cliff again. But Henry has not been dumb enough to go over the cliff again. He has been, of course, a person in our community that really means something when it comes to volunteer work. And those of you who have been with him in Rotary and many other service organizations that he's worked with realize how important it is to have a man like that around. But I did not fully realize this until we started our Meals on Wheels program in the Wayne Westland area. Actually, it's not Meals on Wheels, it's not called that. It's called Meals for Shut-ins. But at the beginning of that program, as it is now, incidentally, they looked for people to deliver meals. And at the beginning especially, we had an awful time. And there was always an old saying, "Call Hank, I'll bet he'll do it." And I never called Hank or the lady that runs the program at any time. Hank said, "Sure, I'll do it." Now, I'm not that kind of a guy, and I don't think we got that many people around saying, "Sure, I'll do it." But Hank would always do it. For more reasons than just because there was a hungry person behind that open door that you go in and serve this meal to or give the meal to. How important it is as we talk and pray and everything else about people who are starving that we do something about those people. And all you know Hank better than I do, probably. But the one thing I would give him the big star for, and this thing tonight, is what he's done for that meals program.
He's been so willing to give his time, which has been over the years now. It's been quite a while since we started that program. When there are actually times, believe it or not, that we would not have been able to serve meals to some of these people. So, with that, Hank, I'd like to introduce you. Hank Goudy, Chief Goudy. Henry, I get the honor of giving this to you, I guess. Cale just gave this to me. But this is a hockey puck. Senator Hank Goudy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hank.
Boy, with all those words, what can I say? That's all I've got. I tell you, I don't know which hat to put on tonight. Whether it's the fireman hat, or the Meals on Wheels, or the activity that we have at the Rotary Club. I don't know just which one, but I'll start out by getting back to the Y program. You know, the Y program started out right back in Norm Stockmeyer's house about 1953 when the chief of police and a few of the old-timers like Mr. Spicer, Mr. Schramm, all got in Mr. Stockmeyer's house on a particular night, and then they started out in a house on Main Street, up on Main Street, Sophia Street, that they had for an office, and they moved around several times before it became Wayne Westland. But I don't know where else to go to from there. My speaking ability is, everyone knows that it's not what it should be, because I blame one man when in the days of township, when this was part of the township, a supervisor by the name of Al Walker. And the occasion came up and he said, I was supposed to get up and talk. He said, well, that's all right, Hank. Don't let that worry you. Don't worry. Just tell me you're a man of deeds, not words. So I certainly appreciate this award that has been made in my name. I certainly appreciate it. And the Y has certainly been a wonderful asset to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob, and congratulations, Henry. We have State Representative Justine Barnes would like to take this opportunity to make a special presentation. Justine?
Thank you very much, Dale. What a privilege and an honor to be here tonight. And you wonder, oh, what is she talking about? Politician again. I'm very serious when I say that. To have been honored by the Y and to be here with the honorees, the former, we're always honorees, and the people in this community that make Wayne Westland tick. I really mean that. And it's a privilege to be able to bring a message from the state to, in essence, honor the Y for recognizing volunteerism. And yes, and I'm going to talk about Joe for a minute. There's times that I said, Joe, thanks for doing this, or when she was creating the Cultural Society, oh, I'm so glad you're doing that, and thank you. And it's important that we tell people thank you for doing the work that they do. for the Y then to identify and publicly tell the world this year is a special award for Jo Johnson because of the things she has done and shared with her family, and we all are saying thank you. And the state of Michigan, via this resolution that I presented, and I'm not going to read it, and we have quite a few sponsors, and it's, we call it not the minutes of our meetings, we call it the journal. And this will be a part of the journal, and next year when it's bound, why go up and look for the date April 30th, 1992, and you will find this in the record of the state of Michigan, the historical record telling the state of Michigan that Jo Johnson was honored by the Y. And I think it's important that we put her name on the map, and you did it tonight. And I'm glad to recognize what the Y has done for our community and what Jo Johnson has done for our community. Jo, just a brief accolade from the state, but saying thank you again. And this cat, I don't know if that's the in word or not, but in the same things, same things I talked about, Jo, are equal about Hank Goudy. I've known him for a few years ago, farther away, but now I see him in, hi, how are you, and kind of a thing. And again, the Y is thanking this man today and telling the world that the things that he has done and what he does because he wants to do them and he's willing to do them, and we all say thank you, and especially the Y, and the state of Michigan recognizes that. And I'm being brief because I know how Dale likes to move along. And we are very fortunate to have the quality of people that have given them themselves, and the Y will recognize them. Again, Hank, can I call you Hank instead of Chief? Yeah. We are honored to give you this message from the state, commending you and thanking the Y.
Thank you, Justine. And bringing us greetings from our municipalities, Mayor Thomas.
Thank you, and on behalf of the City of Westland, I want to welcome all of you to our wonderful city, and I want to commend the Y for their programs for this event tonight, honoring our volunteers. And I'd like to say just a couple of short words about volunteers. The City of Westland, we know just how vital and how important they are, because without the volunteers, we couldn't really operate. We couldn't run some of the programs that we do. The Bailey Center, we have volunteers. The Friendship Center, we have volunteers. City Hall, we have people that come in and help us with programs. Commissions, historical commissions. There's so many people that will take their time out instead of sitting at home watching a hockey game or something like that. And they'll be out working on behalf of other people for nothing more than the mere satisfaction that it gives them. And you know, we really don't thank those people often enough. And when we can come tonight and do it in such a beautiful fashion, we all got to feel pretty good. I want to congratulate Hank Goudy and his accomplishments, but I have something a little special for Jo Johnson tonight that I brought, because in just the 2 short years that I've been mayor, I've been able to call on Jo Johnson for some help on 2 different occasions, and in both times she's came through for me. She's helped out on quite a few things other than that for me. And for you, Jo, I have something that I wanted to bring to you. And it's a certificate of appreciation presented to Jo Johnson. The City of Westland is proud to officially proclaim its gratitude for the contributions and selfless service to the community acknowledged by this certificate of appreciation. Your efforts have contributed significantly towards improving our city's quality of life. And hopefully you'll find a place on your wall. Ernie will hang this up for you somewhere. Thank you very much for having me tonight.
And from the City of Wayne, Mayor Ken Warfield.
Thanks, Dale. Greetings from the City of Wayne, the citizens, and the City Council. Two of the City Councils with us this evening, and Donna McEachern and Ed Phillips have joined us. I had the honor of working with Hank for a number of years, and the gentleman taught me many things over the years, and I appreciate all of the lessons that I learned through Hank and under Hank. And there's some other gentlemen in the audience that also taught me a lot. This time I'll read the volunteer service tribute that we have passed for Hank Goudy. Whereas throughout his life, Henry Goudy has been giving of himself to his community, as you heard earlier this evening, both in his career and in his personal life, to wit, volunteer firefighter beginning at the age of 15, 41 years of service in the Wayne Fire Department, 39 of which were as chief of the department. Many years of involvement with the Wayne Goodfellows, making sure that needy children and families were remembered at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Director of the Wayne Historical Museum since 1986. And those of you that haven't visited the Wayne Museum, stop by and see Hank, and it's quite an interesting experience. To which Hank devotes probably as many unpaid hours as he does paid hours. Dedicated volunteer member of the Wayne Historical Commission since 1983 and was appointed by the Wayne City Council. Wayne delegate to the Senior Alliance Board of Directors since its inception in 1980. Delivery of Meals on Wheels to shut-ins in the community. Whereas Hank Goudy has been a resident of the city of Wayne throughout his life. And whereas Hank Goudy has been the recipient of the Edward H. McNamara Award for his tireless efforts on behalf of area seniors. And whereas Hank Goudy is a faithful member of the First Congregational Church and an active member of the Wayne Rotary Club, truly represents the spirit of volunteerism and dedication through his acts as a civil servant and a good citizen. And now, therefore, I, Kenneth A. Warfield, Mayor, on behalf of the Wayne City Council, take pride in presenting this tribute to Hank Goudy at this YMCA annual recognition dinner. Thank you. Hank. One thing I'd like to do, and Joe, I'd like to have you do this in just a couple minutes. I know there are some members of these recipients' family that have not been introduced, and I'd like to have Henry, you introduce, and then Joe, you be right ready. Come on up here, Joe. Get right in front of you.
I would like to introduce my daughter, Jane. Would you please stand, please? Jane, and her son, Kenny. They came up from Florida today. And my sister, Molly.
I would like to introduce my, should I say, oldest daughter, Donna, and her husband, John Swanson. My daughter, Jan McEnroth, and her husband, Bill. My daughter, Vicki Webster, and her husband, Mike. I'm not only fortunate to have 3 lovely daughters, but I have 3 great son-in-laws also. Our younger daughter is in California, and about an hour before I came here, I talked to her. Where she lives, it's calm, but where she works, it's a little bit touchy, and on the way home, she's taking the roundabout way to get home. So when I get home, I'm making a phone call, and then we did have a son who happened to be killed. But I'm very proud of my family and my husband. Thank you.
Oh, and 3 grandchildren. Angela, who's 14, Christopher, who's 10, and Amanda, who's a year. That's
awful being a grandmother and forgetting my grandchildren. I don't forget them normally.
And I don't know if Joe forgot or did it on purpose. I'd like to introduce her husband, Ernie. Well, very well. If you've been following the program, you'll be delighted to see that we're down to where it says closing remarks. And it's 9:15. And I'd like to just say this. I've been associated with the YMCA in general since the late 1940s, when Kay and my daughter and son, along with Norm Stockmeyer's daughter, would take turns driving from Wayne down to the Dearborn YMCA's swimming pool, which at that time was in Edison Institute, part of Greenfield Village. That was before there was anything like that in Wayne. Then a few years later, in the early 1950s, with Norm Stockmeyer and Lee Wilbur at that time, associated with the Dearborn YMCA, thought it would be a good idea if we started one in Wayne. And they came over to my office in what was then Harold Dietrich Buick, and in a weak moment I accepted the job of being the first chairman of the Wayne YMCA, which has developed into quite a little activity down there on the corner of Bayview and Wayne Road. And it's been my pleasure to have been a part of that from the 1950s until 1992, and I've had a nice time in 1950 and really a better time tonight, because you know how kids are, don't you? Even taking swimming lessons, right? Did you know that the general chairman of the shindig that you are involved in this evening is Gail McKnight, and for whatever credit this activity has had towards its objective of being successful is due to Gail McKnight. So I suggest we give... And then, are you ready, Bob? Come on up this way. In order to end the program on the part of the C part of the YMCA and the Christian part of the YMCA, Bob Millar.
Father, indeed we have been inspired by the inspiration that these volunteers have given us. So we ask that when we leave this place and return to our homes and into our community, that that inspiration would stay with us. Give us the strength. Give us that forethought that our country, our community, and people of the world may get together in fellowship as we've gotten together tonight, so that we would know and love one another. So let us leave here then in this place. Leave in peace. Amen.
This meeting is adjourned.
Peale said, enthusiasm is a priceless quality that makes everything different. I couldn't agree more. We love enthusiasm. I was thinking Canada's to do it. People love people to believe in what they're doing. My definition of enthusiasm is the highest and best expression of your attitude. When you are enthusiastic, it doesn't get any better. As long as it's not too early in the morning. And Henry Ford, that remarkable individual who built this incredible legacy for this community. This community is said, you can do anything if you have enthusiasm. It is the yeast that makes your hope rise to the stars. It is the sparkle in your eye, the swing in your gait, the grip of your hand, the irresistible surge of your will and your energy to execute your ideas. Enthusiasts are fighters. They have fortitude. They have strong qualities. Enthusiasm is at the bottom of all progress. With it there's accomplishment. Without it there are only alibis. If you want to renew your attitude towards your job and your career and your customers, renew your enthusiasm. You know what's great? You've already got it within you right this very moment. Next page, please. What are the 4 stars of service so far? Meet your customers' expectations, number 1. Number 2, communication. Be aware it's nonverbal. Number 3, it is attitude. And number 4, it's systems. Be aware that perception is all there is. Number 5 is our people. And I'd like to illustrate this point. First of all, I would like the people that, with the City of Wayne, that were involved in organizing this event or in any way, would they all please stand for a moment from the City of Wayne? So the mayor and the staff that are involved are good people. Where are you? So please stand, don't be shy. Now, the Chamber of Commerce, Don, and Don, and your executive, anybody on the executive Chamber of Commerce, will you please stand? Okay, now, we're going to ask all those people to find a way to the stage here right now. You come on up right now. And let's keep coming. Don't sit down. Come on up here, ladies. Let's give them a round of applause so they're not shy. Here we go. Come on. You won't get 100 people here. Come on up here right now. Come on, find your way up here. We're going to love this. There's some steps on either side of the stage. You don't have to sing. And this is not a beauty contest, Ken, so don't have to worry about that. Now, I want you all to line up on the front of the stage right here and don't be shy. Now, what I have noticed, this is a program, and the goal is pretty laudable, is to make, stand right in front there, don't be shy. The goal of this program is to create world-class customer service in the community of Wayne. And there are some neighbors from the adjoining area, they were extended courtesy invitation. But what I have noticed about people in government and businesses, they never ever say thank you. And this is a group I want to acknowledge. Just move up there, don't be shy, okay? Now, what I've noticed is we rarely ever get around to saying thank you to people who do good work. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is maybe a little experiment. And I think you're going to find it interesting. Now, would it be fair to say that in your years of working with the city and the chamber, maybe you don't get the thanks or acknowledgement that you really deserve? Would that be pretty fair to say? No. You ever get thanked in your job? Hardly ever. So what we're going to do is, I want you to participate. We're going to do a little experiment here, because when I come to 3, we're going to give them a standing ovation. Are you with me on this or not? Now put your pens and pencils under your seats, and by the way, those of you hiding in the back here, don't wait to see everybody does this. To get out of this exactly what you put into it. I want you to remember how excited you were when your hockey team won in the final. Maybe next year. Don't worry, the flames are not in that. I want you to remember how excited you were when you got your job, or when you got married and it was your honeymoon night, or how thrilled you were when you had your first child, or perhaps when you saw your first Elvis concert, like I did last week. He is alive, by the way. He's a professional speaker now. Or I want you to imagine what you do like if you won the lottery. Oh, I got your attention here right now. Okay, now your job is not to look at me. I just want you to acknowledge this. And I want them shocked outside. What the hell is going on here? Okay, are you ready? Are you with me? Okay, 1 for the money. These people have about 100 years of experience, big knowledge. 2, they've got a year's worth of work that they're going to do for the next year. 3, let's hear it for them. I can't hear it. Did you deserve it?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, let's give them one more round of applause as they take the seat. Question, did that cost you anything? Was it illegal? Was it immoral? Was it fattening? Was it addictive? Should it be? Who is accountable for letting the people that you work with know they're doing a good job? Well, don't wait till there, because he's busy out there shaking hands with a lot of other people. And he does know it's important because I've seen him do it. But it's up to every one of you on a day-to-day basis, as Michael Book said in his book, The Greatest Management Principle in the World. Things that get recognized and rewarded get repeated. Things that get recognized, rewarded, get repeated. Recognize good behavior will get repeated. Recognize bad behavior. You have kids, you'll know will get repeated. Don't recognize behavior, you'll know that people won't know whether you know anything or not. And so what I recommend you do is in your business, set up a task force of non-management personnel, 8 people, and strike a recognition and awards committee to make certain that you have a program in place of catching people in the act, as Ken Blanchard said in the book, The 1 Minute Manager, of doing things approximately right as often as you can. And the 6-star of 6-star service is the power of excellence. It's a quality product or service which is not something that I have anything to do with, but it is the power of excellence. Now let me define for you what excellence is not. It is not doing one thing 1,000% better. I doubt there is one thing that you can do 1,000% better. I doubt that you can answer a phone, process an invoice, service a complaint 1,000% better. Besides, go back to work tomorrow and tell the people we're going to do things 1,000% better. You know what they're going to say? Kiss off. However, excellence is doing 1,000 things 1% better. And better, and better, and better, and better, and better. It's a lot of little things. Now, I found a bumper sticker today. I can't believe anybody paid money for it. It says, it's the little things in life that don't mean anything. How absurd. It's the little things in life that mean everything. I was having a day with my mother several months ago, and my mother said, Brian, why is it when you and your twin brother Bruce? She didn't say twin brother Bruce because she knows he's my twin brother Bruce. I'm just saying this for your benefit. Why is it when you and your twin brother Bruce give me a card? He decides his name, but you write me a note. I said, oh, Mother, more important things in the world to worry about than that. She said, no, there isn't. Well, who's right? Well, let's get it straight here. Mothers are always right. And don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. You know, if you call her, tell her that you love her and all the good things that she's done for you and how much you appreciate it. But it's the little things that count. Is it the big things or little things that make us loyal to restaurants? It's the big things, little things that matter in relationships. It's all the little things. I put here on the page that it is not perfection. Perfectionism is looking for what's wrong. Besides that, we're not perfect. We're human beings with flaws, vices, sins, and a lot of other fun things. We make mistakes. Excellence is looking for what's right. Perfectionism is looking for what's wrong. And the problem with being a perfectionist is you can never be done, your job can never be finished. If you do it until it's done exactly right, and if you do it until it's done exactly right, and stay at the office until it's done exactly right, you will never leave the office. Excellence says, you know what? It's not perfect today, but you know what I feel good about? It's better than it was yesterday, and I'm looking forward to doing it tomorrow just a little bit better. I spoke to an association of professional speakers in my city last summer, and a friend of mine said, Brian, I can't believe how much better you are as a speaker than what I heard you a year and a half ago. I said, I better be. I spoke 275 times since then. And what I love about what I do is every day that I speak, I learn something. Like I had in my seminar, that will make me just a little bit more knowledgeable, a little bit more valuable, a little bit more experienced, a little bit closer to that thing called mastery. The question I want to ask you is this. Do you have 5, 10, 15, 20 years of experience, or do you have 1 year of experience 5, 10, 15, or 20 times? Because it seems to me that if there's a hell, it's got to be pretty close to something that says doing the same job the same way over and over and over and over and over again. Just out of curiosity, how many of you think of something you do your job tomorrow 1% better? Just out of curiosity. You can. By the way, I can see everybody here. How many will not put up with hand regardless of what I ever ask? So please humor me here, because I can see everything. How many can think of something on, take the weekend off. How many think they can communicate with their spouse 1% better? How many do it 100% better? Yeah. Okay. Next Monday, how many of you think of something that you could do 1% better? How many could organize your desk next Tuesday 1% better? How many could communicate with their coworkers 1% better on Wednesday? How many days in a year could you, in fact, take this concept of excellence and be and do things just a little bit better? How many days? Well, let me ask you this. Were you, in fact, to take this power of excellence and put it to work in your career and say, I am going to make the best out of what I do, and even if I don't love my work, I'm going to go back and find a way to make it the most significant, meaningful thing in my life, next to my personal relationships? How much more effective would you be at the end of the year by being just 1% better every day? How much more valuable would you be to your organization? How much more job satisfaction would you have in your career? It would go up dramatically. Put the power of excellence to work for you in your life. The question I want you to ask at the end of every day is, what did you do today that will make your job easier tomorrow? What did you do today that will allow you to serve the citizens, your customers, a little bit better tomorrow? Vince Lombardi, that remarkable legend, said, the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of the chosen field of endeavor. Commitment to excellence. Make a commitment to excellence. Make a commitment to customer service. Make a commitment to your career. Make a commitment. Because you know what's interesting is, as Mark Victor Hansen, my professional speaking colleague, said, the genius of setting goals is the moment you commit to a goal, you already have it, it just hasn't arrived yet. The moment you committed to being here, whenever it took place, you were here. The moment you committed to your career, you had your job. The moment you committed to your relationship, to be in your relationship or out of your relationship, that's when your life changes. The moment I committed to my diet 3 years ago, that's when I lost 35 pounds. It's not when I did it, it's when I made the commitment. Be aware the life changes at that point, and put the quality and the power of excellence to work for you. Now my goal, my mission here this evening, is to assist you to have some insights on how you can advance your career by understanding the concept of 6-star service. In other words, my goal actually is to make you a manager of moments of truth. And what is that? Well, the moment of truth is the moment at which the customer, the citizen, perceives whether they like it or not. It might be on the phone, it might be in print, it might be reading a report. It is that moment of truth. So my goal, in essence, is to make you all managers of moments of truth. Managers of intangibles, passion for the intangibles. So, what I'd like to do now is you will be receiving this evening a certificate that says Manager of Moments of Truth. And I want to swear you in all now officially as those managers. So would you all raise your right hand? Repeat after me. I say your name. Keep those hands up, everybody. Do solemnly swear that I will consistently and enthusiastically manage the moments of truth of all folks and critters and customers. Well, we have some SVCA people here tonight. In order to meet their expectations, they perceive to be important to them. So help me. Congratulations. By the way, do you want everybody you work with to be committed to the idea of being managers of moments of truth? Do you want all your managers to do the same? You bet. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is I need to get some feedback from you. So would you now turn to your blue evaluation sheet? Okay, so I'm going to ask you to complete this evaluation sheet. You leave a pen here. For me, the most valuable idea, what was the best idea you got from this presentation that you would like to brag about? That you did better or differently as a result of being here? By the way, to make this evening worthwhile, how many ideas do you need to be able to take home that you can use? How many can say one good idea? All right, well, get clear. What was the best idea you got here this evening? Number 2, the improvements I would suggest. I would welcome your feedback. Number 3, what should others know about the quality and speaker of the content? Because this is a new program here, we would very much like to know how you feel about this program, and we would love to coach you on it. So would you take a moment and complete that? Number 4, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would rate this presentation as 1 being poor, 5 being valuable. And before you mark it down to less than 5, did you participate? Did you contribute to the extent that you could? Number 5, yes or no, I'd like to continue to attend the seminar series and register for the CSE. Now the MCSE is our management program, which we have not determined yet whether we're going to offer here or not. But just out of curiosity, how many would like to attend the next seminar, Winning with Difficult Customers? May I see your hands, please? Okay, would you turn the page over right now? If you are interested in attending the seminar, Winning with Difficult Customers, would you check that off? The third program, Joy of Stress-Less Customer Service, how to reduce the stress in your job and for your customers. Number 4, 1-minute service selling. Not to sell products, but how to sell yourself, your ideas, and how to get what you want. Number 5, managing moments of truth, which is about how to empower your coworkers and your customers. And number 6, self-esteem and extraordinary customer service. Now, by the way, at the bottom of the page, if you're interested, we are looking for 2 types of people in the Wayne area. I am looking for an associate speaker that is interested in doing these programs, or if you've always had the bug about this, would you just note it or come and see me after? And we also are looking for a marketing representative to assist us in introducing this program in the area as a support to the good work that the Chamber and the city is doing. So if you're interested in either position, please see me. You just turn to the front again, and I'll just finish off the questions. Yes or no, I'd like to see my organization apply for the 6-star Award of Excellence, which means half the employees going to half the seminars. Number 7, I'd like the city to apply, and it looks like the city's headed in a pretty good direction on this right now. Number 8, if you are interested in a private presentation, an in-house program, would you please indicate as such? Number 9, if you are aware that this program could be delivered in another community, then would you let us know about that? And finally, number 10, if you know of just one person that you think would value from being invited, we'd like to know about it, would you please take the next 2.5 minutes and complete this? Your master of ceremonies has some announcements, and then I have a closing message for you I think that you will appreciate. We'll talk to you in about 3 minutes.
In closing this evening, what I'd like to do is take the opportunity to acknowledge the sponsors once again, the City of Wayne and the Chamber of Commerce, especially Mayor Warfield, Mayor Pro Tem Phillips, Councilwoman McCaffrey, and the balance of the Wayne City Council, and also John Zett, City Manager. We'd like to also remind you about the availability of the audio tapes and video resources at the seminar discount. Those are available at your call by just filling out the goal form that was contained in the packet and leaving it at the back of the room. Also, I'd like to again acknowledge by name the volunteers who were great assistance to us in putting on the program this evening: Beverly Vandervenet, Bob English, Debbie Mann, Sheila Blair, Ann Kelly, and Doris Null. Also, we will be making available to you information about the date and location of the second seminar when that decision is made. Also, we'd like to acknowledge with great appreciation the personnel that assisted us in making the facility available, members of the Wayne Westland Community School District, Deputy Superintendent Tom Stitkovich, President, or the Superintendent, Principal, I guess I should say, of this facility, Wayne Memorial High School, Ron Stratton, and Assistant Principal Bill Hawley. And now it's your turn as you complete your evaluation forms, so we again ask you to turn them in the back as you pick up your certificate. Also, we'd like to acknowledge you for your attendance this evening. It wouldn't be possible without you being here, obviously, but even more importantly, without your active participation this evening. And I'd like to just finish with a couple of personal remarks, if I may. And that is that I would implore each of you,
ladies and gentlemen, to make yesterday the last day that we tried to push any of those dead horses through this town. I would like to make tomorrow, today I guess I should say, the last day that we try the easier job of pulling any of those dead horses through town. And let's make tomorrow the first day that we all pull together for the improvement and betterment of this town. There are a few questions that Brian has asked us to try to answer for him, and I would like to have the privilege of attempting to do that, at least from my perspective. And again, on behalf of everyone here, I want to acknowledge Bruce and Brian because they both work together to make these programs possible. And I rely on Bruce as much as I do on Brian in the phone calls making the arrangements, and we appreciate both of them a great deal. The presentation, I think, is aptly titled 6-Star Customer Service Satisfaction, because that says it all from what our perspective is and what we try to do on a daily basis. First question, why is the topic and content of this program relevant to this audience? I would suggest to you that any new information can continue to contribute to personal and professional growth and development. Secondly, what is the main value or benefit to this audience? Again, I would, from my perspective, would help us achieve our common goal of making our communities better places to live. What was the highlight of the content of this presentation? I've been asked to personalize this, so I'll try to summarize the best I can. Brian's focus is on us, the people we are, the people we can become, and the people we serve. Next question. How the presentation supports the aims and objectives of our sponsoring organizations. I think it helps us recognize and appreciate most fully the mottos of the city: people, pride, and progress, and the motto of the Chamber: people, commerce, and industry. I've also been asked to give my impression on what the audience responded to most about the presenters' speaking skills, style, and content. And I would just like to say that during the introduction, I said that I thought tonight each of you would have some fun. It's my impression that many of you did. And again, thank you to each of you for coming tonight and actually participating. We appreciate it very much. And now to conclude for us, Mr. Enthusiasm, Brian Lee.
I have 3 little presentations I'd like to make. Bill, don't go away. These are the 3 people that really took the lead in initiating and making this program work. And I've been wearing a pin here, and I'd like to present one of these pins to each one of these 3 people. Now it says, dedicated to 6-star customer satisfaction on the pin, and there's one arrow that is above all others, and it is symbolic of service above and beyond the call of duty. And it says dedicated. So when you wear this, and people say, well, what does that mean? We say, this is our commitment to you. This is our commitment to service. So first of all, I'd like to present Donna and the Chamber of Commerce, and thank you for all the wonderful work that you did. And I want to warn you that if I ever see you and you're not wearing this pin, it will cost you a hug. So just in case, let's prepare that. And Bill, it's been a pleasure. If there's a city of Wayne Mission enthusiasm, I know it's Bill Richards. Bill, thank you very much. And I had the pleasure of meeting this giant teddy bear guy at a mayor's conference, and just a super guy to meet. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and thank you for the vision that you have for the community, and you have earned that so long ago. Two last thoughts. Who's it up to? Who's accountable for creating service excellence in this community? It's up to you. And I want to close with a story and a final comment. One of my heroes is a Canadian by the name of Joey Smalley. We have no reason to ever know him, but he brought the province of Newfoundland into confederation. It was like bringing Alaska or Hawaii into the State of the Union. He just passed away a little while ago at 88 years of age, a remarkable man. And he was one of my 3 heroes. He spoke at a convention in Calgary 8 years ago, and the chairman of the convention said, Brian, would you find someone to drive you to the airport? I said, would I? Well, could I? I will. I need to meet this man all my life. I got him in the car early. I took him along. I wanted to talk to him. I gave an article where it said that I had said he was one of my 3 heroes. I said, Mr. Smollett, I have read your biography, I have read your autobiography. You've been one of the most vilified human beings in the history of your province. People considered you a traitor when you brought Newfoundland into Canada. How did you withstand the attacks from people you didn't even know when all you wanted to do was help them and be of service to the community, which I think is what you're all trying to do, is help others and be of service to the community. And he said, Brian, he said, not everybody can bring a country into confederation, not everybody can change the world, and as bad as things got, the one thing that saved me in my difficult moments is I always remembered the words of that Sunday school song, brighten the corner where you are. Doesn't matter how big the task, how small the challenge, you just know that, I guess my goal here is to help you have a better day, but remember, every day you have the opportunity to make somebody else's day by the way you provide service. My final thought is, it's been a pleasure having you. It's been great. I've really enjoyed it today, and I'm looking forward to coming back over the next year. Seeing your positive, naive, innocent faces here tonight was a bit like when I was asked to give my, well, I spoke at a Baptist Sunday school class as a guest of the speaker, of the preacher, not that long ago, and before I spoke, he gave a hellfire and brimstone sermon. He said, how many here want to go to heaven? And everybody put up their hand except one little boy, looked like the city manager, Johnny, over there. He went over to Johnny and said, don't